I made a YouTube short commenting on Andrew Tate and some of his tactics that he actually talked about doing, and the way he describes manipulating and sort of trapping a woman into his webcam business. What's different is that he's coming right out and he's telling you. I got all kinds of hate from his fans. When I originally posted it, it was actually meant to be an example to women of exactly the kind of man who is trying to control them and putting them down, and actually knows that they're capable of much, much more than they want them to believe they're capable of. So it was just kind of meant to be an empowering message. And I got sort of flooded with all of these comments from his fans defending him. And the biggest thing that they're saying, which they apparently love to say to everyone, is, you're taking his comments out of context. Certain things don't need a whole lot of context of just kind of sharing opinions. I got a lot of messages saying, hey, he never said that. Ow, angry bird. He just bit me, you guys. He might be an Andrew Tate fan. Okay, so I got a lot of messages saying, you have no idea who this guy is. You don't understand him. Clearly, you are one of those stupid women, right? This is why you need to obey, sit, roll, lay down, good girl. All kinds of these misogynistic messages. I've been following Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan since they were in the UFC, and he was egregious and obnoxious enough to get himself kicked out and banned from the UFC. I actually remember when he started the webcam business because I had followed him from the UFC. I remember when the alpha male business started, and I never felt the need to really comment. But lately, I have been feeling the need to comment out loud to other women, anybody really who has been vulnerable to this kind of manipulation. And he is such a golden example because he's telling you exactly what he's thinking when he's doing it. He must feel so above it all that people just buying his BS. He's targeting and exploiting vulnerable people, right? And he literally walks you through the way he does that. So let me just say from the beginning, it doesn't have to be illegal for it to be loathsome. It's up for discussion, conclusions about what will happen legally. My opinion is that this is a case of trafficking. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. And I do think that the things he said qualify as some level of confession. And I do think that they will bite him. I'm going to stick to that. So without more ado, I'm going to actually create a reaction video to one of these earlier videos created by Andrew Tate. It was taken down from his course, but of course, other people, his fans, repost these things. So it's not that hard to find. I went and found some short clips here and there so I can show you his own words what he's talking about. So here we go.
You're going to run a webcam company. This is going to be an interesting journey for you, that's for sure. This is serious business. So, first things first, when you say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest, and it's just like you're like Hugh Hefner. When you're in the club with your workers, you look like Hugh Hefner, but in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR department, the HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing.
I love that
They're
he called it
effectively taking
HR.
girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you.
What an
So
interesting
it's not an
spin.
easy task. Now, there's a lot to teach here, so I'm going to assume you're not morons. There's certain things I'm not going to completely and utterly intricately cover. I'm just going to say, look, work it out, because it's not the most important thing. The
And
most
yet,
important thing you need to
he
learn
just
in
told
this
us
course
they were.
is the people management aspect, how you can run this business from a human perspective, and the hardware and the technical side of things really isn't too complicated. We all know what a webcam is.
Okay, so far what I'm seeing is just kind of Machiavellian. It's not even off. He's right from a HR perspective. Every business is a whole lot of people management and finance, no matter what you do. It's not all glitz and glam. So my first comment is, yeah, fair, true. So I'm actually this is hard, you guys. I'm trying to be completely objective. I haven't watched him in a while. I saw these clips before, made a quick reaction, but I haven't broken it down. So I'm really going to try, you guys.
We all know what video chat webcamming is. It's not that complicated. So we'll start there, but we're going to move on to something far more important shortly. So The equipment you need a girl.
Oh, she's
You need,
equipment.
Webcam. The best webcam is a Logitech C920. Write that down, motherfuckers. Logitech C920. And you need MacBooks. The reason you use MacBooks is because it's easiest.
Sorry, that over the top bravado there is a little vomitous. Write that down, motherfuckers. Read between the lines, motherfuckers.
To screen share with a lot of MacBooks on the same Wi-Fi network.
I imagine you can screen share with other things too. I'm doing it right now.
So per girl, you need a MacBook, you need a webcam, you need a fast internet connection. Even if you have very good Wi-Fi, plug it in with a wire, Ethernet, just to make sure. And you need a girl who's.
He does think you're morons.
And you turn these things into money.
The reason why he's telling you this is because he doesn't want to bother telling you that Wi-Fi specs that you actually need. And he actually does assume you're stupid.
Now, what you're going to find out shortly when I go into it later, what you actually turn these things into is Bitcoin. So
right there, in my humble opinion, if I'm the IRS and I want to find something, there's where I'm going to start digging right now.
Effectively, what a webcam company is mining Bitcoin. But instead of mining Bitcoin the traditional way with huge electricity expenses and massively expensive equipment and space and cooling and all that bullshit, you mine Bitcoin with some pussy and titties. And we'll get to that later. You might need some studio lights. You can buy LED photography lights for 50, 60 euro on a stand. You might need a couple lights. And this is what I mean when I say you guys, I hope you guys aren't idiots.
This is harder than I expected, you guys, a reaction video. I feel like an idiot right now. Okay, hold on. I will figure out how to make this full screen, maybe.
Obviously, the girl's room needs to be well lit. The camera resolution has to be high. The frame rate needs to be quick, so the internet connection has to be fast. If you're sitting here and you don't understand that you have to have a good quality picture for people to spend money, then why the fuck did you buy the course? Literally, don't be morons. So if you need some lights, buy some fucking lights. If you need to decorate the room so the room doesn't look like a crack den, decorate the fucking room.
Well, why would it look like a crack?
I will say, actually, caveat to that.
Who are you talking to?
You want the rooms and the sets to look like a girl's bedroom. You don't want it to look like a studio. When I was running my studio, I had a lot of people come at me with big money and say, look, we can build this 20-room studio. Each room will have a theme. We'll have a car wash theme and a this theme. Guys are not interested in webcam for that. The more professional it looks, the less of that intimate one-on-one connection they get with the girl. If they feel like it's a professional setup,
I'm sure this is true.
If she's working for a studio or a business, they don't feel that connection with the girl the same, and effectively your money goes down.
So he's telling you how to manipulate the customer, but certainly we would expect this in this business. This is not new, and a lot of people will find him savvy and respect him for this. So, okay, again, Machiavellian business, garden variety so far.
You want everyone to believe it's a girl in her bedroom at home on her own. That's what you want her to believe. So when I say make her room nice, I mean make it nice like a girl's bedroom, a nice, clean, nice bedroom. You can't have a shit room, but you don't want it to look too professional either. So for these reasons, if you're sitting there thinking, well, what premises do I need? You need your house. You need to rent a normal apartment. Don't rent any kind of commercial property, industrial property, any of that bullshit. Rent a nice house, and you start to make money, get a nice penthouse or a nice big house that you can live in, a live and work space that is homely and is normal. So now you have a room, which is nice and clean, looks like a bedroom. You have your laptop plugged in on the internet. You have a C920 Logitech webcam on the top. I'm going through all the hardware stuff first because this is quick. The hard part is how you actually run the business.
He's not even giving you hardware specs. He's just talking to you again like you're a complete moron, lowest common denominator here. The hard part, I'm guessing, is the manipulation part. So the HR, right?
Next, webcam websites. There are only 2 webcam websites worth fucking with. I've tried them all. There's about 20 out there. I've tried them all. And you can only really effectively make money with 2 of them. The first one is liveyasmin.com. Liveyasmin.com is Hungarian. It's owned by the richest guy in Hungary. And this setup, effectively, is far more the professionals route. It's not the girl at home in her bedroom. It's girls who work for studios. It's professional girls. And it's professional girls. And even those customers, the men who go on that site, they understand it's professional girls. It's a different atmosphere than the other one we're going to look at. So I think it's the inferior of the two choices, and I would not recommend you use this site. And the reason for that is because, one, they are massive sticklers for audio and video quality. So when you get your whole thing set up, you have to be approved. And unless you have perfect lighting and perfect internet, and everything's set up really nice, they're not going to give you the highest rating, which means they're going to deduct some money. They're going to put a financial penalty on you. And sometimes it can just depend on the light outside. It can just depend if it's a...
So we're not going for quality, guys.
The light might change a little bit, and they can be dickheads about that. That's the first thing. Second thing, like I said, is for professional setups. So
that's why he's telling you how to go with the amateur look.
Webcam studio.
Because it's easier to titillate people with the amateur look if they believe it's real. And if you have lower quality machinery, like, that's all you can produce anyway, right? So you want to create that mood. He's right.
Everywhere. There's one webcam studio down the road called Studio 20 with 100 rooms. 100 rooms, 8-hour shifts, 3 girls a day. That's 300 girls a day working, and they all work on LiveYasmin. So if you're going to go on LiveYasmin, you're going to be competing with big-time guys. And what you want to be competing with is people at home in their bedrooms. You don't want to be competing with serious businessmen, because I know for a fact, Studio 20, the owner of Studio 20 and the owner of the
keep your standards low,
LiveYasmin are friends, and they've got some kind of backhander agreement.
God, I'm sorry. You're the one he thinks is stupid. He thinks everyone else is stupid.
All the Studio 20 girls appear high on the web page. They appear at the top of the page. Obviously, if you're going to go on there, you don't want to scroll down 10 pages to find a girl. You're going to go to the girls in the first row. All his girls appear high up because he's given the guy a backhand. It's all this shady business. It's a huge competition market you don't really want to get involved in. You can make money on LiveYasmin, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Nothing is shady.
If you go through the payment,
that's just hard.
LiveYasmin, like I said, I'm not going to waste time. I'm not going to sit here and fucking show you it. Look it up. You want to run a business? Do some fucking research. Look at the LiveYasmin payment structure. You'll see that you only get 20% of the money up to the first $100 or something, and then after that, you get 30% of the money, and then after that, you have to break through all these payment barriers to find a high payment structure. You'll see that. Show you it. Look it up. You want to run a business? Do some fucking research. Look at the LiveYasmin payment structure. You'll see that you only get 20% of the money up until the first $100 or something, and then after that, you get 30% of the money. And then after that, you have to break through all these payment barriers to finally get to a high percentage of the money per minute, because it's per minute calls. And I know girls who work on LiveYasmin.
Sorry, guys, we have to break it up into pieces like this because he's not actually allowed on YouTube, and his fans are the ones posting this. So I have to do. I'm gonna pause.
Who said when they finally...
Okay, so I know this is long, but there is no way we can claim context is a problem here, right? We're going through the whole context. He's set up so far his basic skeleton structure, and he hasn't started talking about the HR yet, but he's given us some foreshadowing. So certainly think I can follow the context.
We do, because it resets every 2 weeks. So they were doing 10 days of 12 hours a day to get to that highest payment structure. And then those last 4 days, they were making all their money. Now they're saying something's happened, was when they finally break through to the highest payment structure, the website's limiting their traffic to prevent them from making money, because obviously they'd rather the traffic go to a girl who hasn't got such a high percentage.
Okay. Same crap that Lyft, Uber, Postmates, and everything algorithm related does. Schedulers for big companies do this with their staff too, so they don't have to give benefits.
So there's some snaky
Business 101 there.
as well.
True.
So for that reason, I do not recommend LiveYasmin. I'm only telling you about it because I don't want to say there's only one webcam site. With LiveYasmin, you can make money, but it's not what you're looking for. The website you were going to use is Chatterbait. Chatterbait is how you're going to get rich. Now, I've told very shortly my story, how I kind of started my whole webcam business.
Oh, he's going to tell us his story. Context.
Again, in detail here,
In
was
detail.
fighting. I had some money. I had 70,000 pounds in a safe in my bedroom in my house. I wanted to buy property in Thailand and move to Thailand.
Andrew, I wonder if you paid taxes on those 70,000 pounds.
I needed 80,000. I was 10 grand short, and I thought I'd go to the casino and make the 10, which was obviously we all know how that story went.
Stellar
so I lost
judgment.
30, so now I need 40.
Everyone follow this guy.
I was sitting there trying to find a way to make money. So how can I make money? And what I did was,
We've all been there.
I'm literally not leaving my room until I have a way for us to make more money. Because I can only fight so many times per year, and I know their income.
Yeah,
So I got pen and paper, and I was on YouTube, like researching, how people make money, what millionaires have, and they kept talking about assets. And I was sitting there thinking, what assets do I have? I'm trying to buy a property. I mean, I didn't own a property in the UK at the time, because they didn't pay me tax to anyone. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I didn't buy a house to confirm it.
I bet
So
you.
what assets do I have? I have a car. I have this. I have that. And then I realized
Probably being
I had
shady.
about 5 girlfriends, all smoking hot. And females are an asset. Attractive females are absolutely an asset. And if you disagree with me, walk in the club with 10 blondes.
No, friend, I don't disagree with you.
Fuck the champagne shows. I've walked in the club with 10 girls.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that you need our value? No wonder you have to be a conniving little snitch to do it. Let's see.
Guys next to me doing champagne shows. Is anyone looking at their table or my table? No one gives a fuck about their table.
They're not looking at you, dude. No one gives a fuck about you unless they're jealous of you or they think they can be like you. That's it. That's what you're living for. They're looking at the girls, and you know it. That's why you work so hard to make them believe that they're nothing, because they're the ones that get their attention. You are actually nothing in this business without them.
Pussy is the most important driving force of this planet. Pussy is the only reason that empires were started and wars were waged. It's the only reason all you guys are out there are even interested in having money.
Andrew, you have another point.
If there was no pussy about, you wouldn't care about having money. You'd say, oh, I'll have a little bit of money and I'll just play chess all day. I don't care.
BS. Men are super competitive. They would be out there arguing about who has the bigger stack of sticks, who has a bigger bowling ball, who has bigger balls themselves. Everything needs to be bigger and better with so many men. Not all men are like this, but it's absolutely, completely, totally bullshit, you guys, that if it weren't for women, men would not be competitive and want symbols of power. Of course you would. If every woman on the planet stopped existing tomorrow, y'all would still have dick fighting contests, okay?
The only reason we want cars and clothes and 6-packs and houses and shit is for girls. Girls
Yeah, and women only dress for themselves and for each other, right? I'm sorry. You're wrong. He might have learned this by now.
driving.
Let's go to part 4. Context, people. Context. We can't miss a thing. Obnoxious, and I know it. Okay, let's do this. Do tell me how things work.
Assets, I had to find a way to monetize the assets.
Yeah,
I some street pimps. I've done them for a long time. Straight street pimping is a completely. In fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same. What we're gonna do.
Oh, wait! Let's go back. Let's go back.
With one is good, but back on the plane, 2 decided to stay. 2 weeks later, 1 left, and so I was left with 1.
Wait, where is the psychological aspect? He said.
Let's translate mine to a street business, and you could.
Here we go.
I knew some street pimps. I've done them for a long time. Straight street pimping is a completely. In fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same of what we're going to do.
I believe
the skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily street pimp with the things I'm going to teach you. But I didn't want no one else fucking my girl. That's the truth. My girls. I want to fuck my girls. I want some other guy fucking my girls. What the fuck's the point in that? So, long story short, blah, 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 blah. Discovered Webcam and went from there. flew all 5 girls in at once, sat them all down. So I've been going
But you don't mind people masturbating to your girls. Okay.
out with all of you. Here's the truth. Starting a business, you'll make money or not. 2 decided to stay. 3 started crying, got back on the plane because they're all different places in the world. I had them for when I was fighting. So I went and fought in Slovakia, I've got a girlfriend. Went and fought in France, got a girlfriend. Went and fought. So I had other girls around the world. So I told them all to fly in, sat them all down together.
So I'm just guessing here, but I think he's giving us the setup for telling us that he's going to fly girls across country lines under false pretenses. But let's wait and listen to him tell us.
Who the fuck are all these other girls? I was like, okay, truth time. Bang.
Truth
I'm a
time.
G. I'm fucking you all. I'm going to start a business. You're all going to live here with me. 3 got back on the plane. 2 decided to stay. 2 weeks later, 1 left. And so I was left with 1. But starting with 1 is good. But first 2 weeks.
So what we don't know here is whether or not that one who was left had money for a plane ticket, family to turn to, or whether or not she was vulnerable, had been abused, traumatized. We know nothing about this right now. We just know that this is pretty predatory behavior. I think some people would argue that, hey, they knew what they were getting into. He just told you he only told them after they were in a house and here. So I don't know. I don't know about that. That's a hard sell.
I fucked them together a few times, so it's fine. Starting with 1 is what you want to do anyway. So, you now know about the equipment and you now know the website you're going to use, Chatterbait. Like I said, I'm not going to waste my time scrolling up and down through Chatterbait showing you every little feature of the website. If you're that fucking stupid, then you know stand a chance. You now know the website you need to go on. So go on the website, sign up, start looking into things, investigate payment terms, etc., etc., etc. Fucking don't be a moron. Make a studio account and go from there. Now, the reason I said you need MacBooks is because you need to screen share.
Can you imagine if you thought you were this guy's girlfriend and you flew out to his place and he's like, hey, I'm fucking all 5 of you. Let's make some money.
And this is ultra important because, where's my whiteboard? I ain't got a whiteboard again. Oh well. If you've seen the PhD course, you saw how useless that was anyway.
Oh, clearly
Your goal
in this.
is to inspire a girl to make money
Inspire.
and give you money. So the way you're going to do that is
I think what he's going to do is walk us from inspiration straight to fraud and coercion. But who am I to say?
you have to have some element of influence. And you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you. This is extremely
That's
important.
coercion.
Because at the beginning, she will need you. But then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive that she can't do this without you.
Fallacy.
To ensure that she doesn't do it without you.
AKA lie. Fraud?
So this is what screen share is all about. Effectively, this is the way the business works. The girl sits on the camera.
Oh, you guys, I'm getting super sick to my stomach as he starts giving us the truth. This guy's hard to take.
Now, when the girl is on camera, and you would have seen from
This
my
is his
promotional
girlfriend, guys.
video, that was at the height of my webcam empire. The blonde in that video I'm still with now. I know, she's smoking. You'll see from there how we explain that there's people typing or pretending to be the girl 24 hours a day. So it hasn't got to be 24 hours a day, but that method is very important for 2 reasons. First let me explain how it works. Listen up, motherfuckers. So, the girl's on the webcam.
I'm sorry. I just have to. His body language. I can't. He's so confrontational, so condescending. His RBF, as we like to call it, resting bitch face, is just so off the charts. If you can see these micro expressions that I can see, look at the way he's like, yeah, granted, he's a fighter, but he's got this affect that says he brings his confrontational aggressive style to everything he does. It's very off-putting. Very off-putting unless that's what you know and you're afraid not to have it, I think. Or you just want what he's got.
She's sitting here. When a girl is on camera, she has a public room, which people will visit, and they will spend money in and talk shit. To make the maximum money, it is your job to train the girl to talk to and interact with that public room as much as possible. So when people come in the room and say, oh, hey, how are you? She's like, they type. The men type, hey, how are you? It comes in the box. She goes, oh, hey, I'm fine, thank you. And she has to make sure her public room is engaging and interesting.
Grooming.
As much as possible.
This is grooming.
To keep people in the room.
This is what we call grooming the subject when he's talking about the psychological influence that he has over her.
The public room is happening. She can also receive private messages. Now, those messages are important because very often guys are going to privately message her before they want to spend money. So, how much is your Snapchat? Will you do this? Where are you from? Whatever. Now, a girl can't effectively, especially when she starts, she can with lots of experience because she becomes adept at filtering out the time wasters. But at the beginning, a girl cannot sit in a room.
He has such an interesting combination accent for from all the places he's lived in his formative times. It's really interesting to listen to and look at his body movement.
Be high energy, be smiling. Write this shit down. Guys, if you're watching this, get a piece of pen and paper,
write this shit down. It's everything every sales guy on the corner trying to sell you a mattress or calling you on the phone has on a script. Write this shit down. Like, he is talking to the lowest common denominator. He's not wrong, but he has dumbed it down so much because he is so bottom feeding here.
Down. The girl has to be smiling. She has to be happy. The men aren't going on there to see some miserable bitch. Their wife is, they've got a wife at home who's a miserable bitch. They're spending money to see a happy girl. Smiling, happy, interacting with the room, talking to maybe 100 people in her.
Is she happy, Andrew, or is she scared and pretending to be happy? Because now we're getting into that coercion aspect.
Room, while also replying to maybe 20 men who are privately messaged her by typing. That's impossible for a new girl to do. And the reason for that's impossible is because of those guys private messaging her, a lot of them are time wasters. But it takes some time to get a feeling for what a time waster is. And I can't even put it into words to you.
I can't put it into words to you guys how much of a despicable level of dark triad characteristics he puts together to rampage through people's lives, and he just tells you about it, and y'all like this. Okay, I can't put it into words any better than Andrew can.
You do it for long enough where after 3 or 4 messages with a guy, you can tell if they're going to spend money or not. And it's just, I don't.
And that is how I can tell how insecure you actually are. That's why you bully women.
It's weird. You get this sixth sense for it. It
Uh-huh.
comes with experience.
You
The
do.
girl has to get it, and you have to get it too.
What did you go through in your life that makes you feel the need to control people the way that you do?
Effectively, the way it works is the girl's responsibility is to worry about the room, sit in the room, smile, be happy, keep the room engaging, keep it interesting.
Be happy or else.
Looks pretty, has something nice on, whatever. And all those private messages you are going to reply to. And you're going to reply to them via screen share on a computer in a different room. As long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network. Now if you're sitting here going, well, how do I screen share? Google it. I'm not fucking wasting. That's the kind of shit you can Google or type into YouTube. Screen share max. Effectively, this computer can control that computer. They become the same screen. And that allows you to click with your mouse on the boxes and reply and pretend to be the girl. Also, you need to have another little...
Oh my, he knows how to scale. AI can do this too.
Notepad in the bottom right-hand corner to give the girl instructions. Pay attention. If you're lost here, rewind the fucking video. So you have a notepad in the corner that you can type instructions to the girl. You have your computer connected to her computer, so you can type in the instruction box.
If you think at this point that he's still trying to help you learn anything, that's hilarious. He's trying to get your money in the laziest fucking way possible. And it probably worked with some of you.
Or pretend to type. She will go like this on her laptop and pretend to type, and you will actually reply to all the guys. This is important for 2 reasons.
I'll tell you why it's so important. If you want to control someone, you take away their voice. That's why it's so important. Let's see how he puts that.
1, it allows you to maximize your money because you're having more conversations with men than a girl could ever have on her own. Because she's too busy on her own. She's overwhelmed. She can't talk to all these people. So some guys you have to negotiate with, some guys you have to do a deal with, some guys whatever. You can do all that shit. But even more importantly, it makes the girl believe that she can't do it without you.
There. And why do you have to do that, Andrew? Because you don't actually bring any fucking value here, except your initial grooming. And you're only doing that so that you can profiteer off of them. So you should be insecure. Because if they figure out they don't need you, you're toast.
And at the beginning she can, but there'll become a point she can't.
We need to go back and listen to that. I don't really care what the Tate fans have to say. I want to go back for the women who are told that they're nothing. Because this is what they're really thinking when they're telling you you can't. When they're telling you you're nothing. This is what they're thinking. Tell us, Andrew. Tell us the truth.
It makes the girl believe that she can't do it without you. And at the beginning she can, but there'll become a point she can't. But you being here, it synergizes this teamwork energy. We're going to do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera. Don't worry, I'll talk to the guys. I'm going to talk to them. We're a team. Happy, positive.
Yeah, he's a bull shark sales guy. And there is nothing special about him. Admit this shit. And he knows that there will always be somebody who laps it up. Because there will.
Teamwork. You cannot run this business through fear. And this is one of the biggest things people don't understand about the pimp game. Even street pimping. They think that you can do it through fear. That you can scare girls and you can intimidate girls. If you're going to scare...
No, it's so much more Machiavellian than that. That is far too crude for him. But there's types of fear that are much more insidious than just fear for your physical safety in the immediate sense, right? Because we are complex beings. We have anxiety. We have panic. We have fears. We think about the future. We have ideas of self-efficacy, meaning I feel confident that I can accomplish something. And he's already talked about how to mechanistically undermine that in women. So what kind of fear are we talking about here, Andrew? Are you talking about don't bitch slap these women?
Girl and put her on the street. She's just going to walk off and leave and never see her again. She has to respect you and love you and want to work with you. And that's done through positively inspirational and motivating person. It's through positive energy. There's no negative energy in this business. You have to be positive.
Yeah, but is this what you call positivity? Because you're so nasty to your fans. I cannot imagine what you think being positive or nice looks like to a woman who you say and believe is under your control.
So by you typing for the girl, you maximize your money, and also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important.
I'm sick, you guys. I'm going to do one more and that's it. I can't take more of this guy. I've had enough context.
I'd hired typers, so I didn't have to type. So I'd hired girls to sit and type and pretend to be the girls. So girls online I had an office full of girls pretending to type. So I had 4 typers, 20 girls online, for example. And the 4 girls would type for 3 or 4 girls each, and they'd all pretend, and that's how I had it all going.
The
That's way down the line
pool.
for you guys.
Okay.
At the beginning, what you want is one girl who's working, going online, you typing for her. So the evenings are perfect. You find a girl, and you're sitting there going, well, how do I find a girl? We'll get to that in a second. You find a girl, 8 o'clock at night till midnight, 4 hours a day, you sit there and type for her. She sits there and does as you tell her in the yellow box, and you generate money. Now, another reason we use Chatterbait, we use Chatterbait for a variety of reasons. I spoke about live Yasmin, I'm going to talk about Chatterbait. We use Chatterbait for a few reasons. One, there's no penalty for not making money. There's another website called My Free Cams, and My Free Cams is okay, but the problem is it has something called a cam score, which is the number of tokens you generate per minute, and the cam score dictates where you are on the web page.
I don't feel like
So
I
if you
need
have a
these
bad cam
tools.
score,
I'm
you're
not
far
going
down
to
the
start a
page.
webcam
And
business.
when you're just starting this business, trying to make money quick is not easy. This is not going to be easy at the start. So I do not recommend My Free Cams because you're going to end up with a bunch of girls with bad cam scores who are far down the page and no one's going to see them. You're not going to make any money. With Chatterbait, there's no cam score system. So where you appear on the page is simply by how many people are in your room. So if your girl gets her tits out and starts to shake her ass and she's hot and she gets lots of men in her room, then she's going to be higher up the page and it's going to be exponential. She'll get more and more and more men because she's higher up the page. So keep this in mind for building a room. Sometimes a girl just has to fucking get freaky at the start to build a room up and get men in there to exponentially increase it. This is one of the reasons we use Chatterbait. Another reason we use Chatterbait is because
He's so classy, girls. How do you keep your hands off him?
they will pay you in Bitcoin. They'll pay you in Bitcoin. You put in your Bitcoin address and they'll pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult. And
I'm not a lawyer, but if I were, I know I'd be saying, don't talk like this. Don't tell them you're trying to avoid taxes. Because you're not talking about loopholes. You're simply talking about making sure they don't see it coming in.
that was going to be about an hour segment of this fucking thing. But we don't need to do that anymore because in the last 6 months, Chatterbait have released a Bitcoin option. So they'll pay you in Bitcoin.
In other words, just don't claim it, right? Tax evasion. It's basically what he's telling you. And full, fleshed out context here.
Your girl on there working.
There you go. There you go. I'm done talking about Andrew Tate for now. Bye. Stay salty.